We are now in the final stretch in this race for the White House after months on the campaign trail. All those ads and attacks were now less than an hour away from potentially learning the first results of this election. There are, however, 6 key states, the battleground states that could determine the outcome: Florida, Michigan, Wisconsin, North Carolina, Arizona, and Pennsylvania. So the action's going to be. But another state in the spotlight, Georgia, a new battleground. For a couple of decades, it's been a Republican stronghold. But will Joe Biden be able to flip that state blue for the first time since 1992? Just a few minutes ago, I spoke with Georgia's Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, about how the vote is going there. Let's listen. Secretary Raffensperger, thanks for being with us tonight. Voting in Georgia has been a fraught issue in the distant past and in the most recent past. The election just a couple of years ago, your own predecessor in that office, now Governor Kemp, he was accused of voter suppression while overseeing his own election just 2 years ago. So let me ask you, from the perspective of Black and Latino and Asian Georgians, how do you reassure them after that bitter battle that their vote is going to be counted in this election? What have you been doing?
Well, we are going to have record turnout. We've had record absentee ballots. We've had record early voting, and total numbers will be a record for the state of Georgia. It's also never been easier to vote in the state of Georgia, and we have no excuse absentee voting. We've had that since 2005. But after the June primary, we stood up an absentee ballot portal. So in 30 seconds, you can request your absentee ballot, and with the numbers proved, over 1.5 million voters have requested an absentee ballot. So we're going to have record turnout. Right now, what's really exciting is that the average wait time, line time in the state of Georgia right now today is 2 minutes. And that's over 2,400 precincts. So the average time is two minutes. I posted on my own personal Facebook page. The longest wait time was 20 minutes when I posted it. But that's what you're seeing. Voters are engaged in the process, but voters are moving through the line. They're having a great voter experience today. That's
the voter experience and casting the votes. How about counting them? How do you answer the concerns of minority voters in Georgia? How do you get them to trust you?
Well, we have a new voter security system in place. It provides us with a verifiable paper ballot. And so after you make your selections, you press the button, it prints out a paper ballot. You can look at all your choices, and then you, the voter, put it on the scanner and press that button, and it goes through the scanner, and that's where your votes will be read. And so everyone can know now that we have, the security of the vote. You don't have to worry now that we have a verifiable paper ballot trail. But also, we are going to do a statewide audit, the first time that's been done in Georgia, and we're standing that up, in 11 months. Most states have taken 5 to 7 years to do statewide audits. We'll be doing a risk-limiting audit of the major elections this fall. And so that starts as soon as we get the results in and before we certify the results. So next week, we'll be doing our risk-limiting audits.
All right, and counting them all. And so we talked to a lot of secretaries of states over the last few weeks about what their biggest concerns going into this really unusual election are. What have your biggest concerns been? How have you taken steps to meet them?
Well, number one, we had to recruit over 50,000 new poll workers because of COVID. Our average age was over 70 years old. Many of them had stepped down. And so we really reached out to the Metro Atlanta Chamber, other nonprofit organizations, recruited 50,000 poll workers, and then you had to train them. And so since June, we've been training them, making sure our vendor was training them. Our county election directors were training these poll workers with several rounds to get them ready for, obviously, the early voting period and then today's election. So that was another big thing. And then making sure that it's a safe environment, as safe as possible with COVID, spacing out your voters, cleaning off all the machines, which then actually extends the time it takes to vote, and be ready for the number of voters we were expecting. So those are a lot of things that we have worked on, and our counties and our county election directors have really stood up, and we're really proud of their effort. I'm really proud of my team's effort.
It sounds great. Let me ask you one more question. President Trump has said that the results of this election must be known by the end of tonight. Well, what do you say to that about getting the results in by the end of the night? How long do you think it'll take in Georgia? And do you think that that's what voters should expect this year?
Well, we will have one of the earliest results in the entire country. And the reason is that I pushed our state election board to allow us to begin the scanning of those absentee ballots. And so we have already scanned, all the counties have scanned the absentee ballots that they received through the weekend. So we're in great shape. So all we have to do now is press that button for tabulation, and we'll get those results. So many of the races will be declared before 12 midnight today. I don't know if we'll get them all done. It depends how close those races are, but certainly no later than noon tomorrow.
But there's no sense in Georgia law or federal law that you know of that results have to be in by election night. We count the votes, right? We count all the valid votes, and that's what makes an election.
We count all the ballots, but we want to get it done as soon as possible. We understand that this is a contentious race. We understand that voters on both sides and the media, they want to know what those results are. And that's why us being able to scan those absentee ballots early was so huge, because it really lets the counties get ahead of it. And so you'll get our results from Georgia far sooner than you get many other states.
All right, Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, thank you. Thanks for your time and your work, and thanks to all of those election officials and poll workers in Georgia that you're helping and managing, and to all those around the country. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.